Nobody was supposed to find out. That was the whole point. Keep it quiet, keep it off the internet, keep it out of the blogs. Because the moment this got out, allegedly, certain people in Chicago were going to lose their minds completely. And guess what? It got out. NBA YoungBoy, the same man Lil Durk has been publicly beefing with, the same man whose Chicago show got cancelled because certain people allegedly made it very clear he was not welcome, is reportedly being linked to the one person on this entire planet that Lil Durk would never, in a million years, expect him to be connected to. King Von's sister. Kayla B. Von's blood. Durk's fallen soldier's family. And here is what nobody is saying out loud. Allegedly, this did not just happen by accident. According to sources close to both camps, this connection has been building quietly for months. While Durk was allegedly focused on his legal situation, while the blogs were covering everything else, something was reportedly unfolding behind closed doors that has now allegedly sent shockwaves through Chicago's entire rap scene. Lil Durk is reportedly not okay right now. And the reason why is about to change everything you thought you knew about this entire situation. Do not move. This is the story nobody wanted told. To understand why this story is hitting the way it is hitting right now, you have to go back. Not just to the beef, not just to the canceled Chicago show, not just to the diss tracks. You have to go back to the day King Von died, because that is allegedly where this entire chain of events actually begins, even if nobody realized it at the time. November 6th, 2020. Atlanta, Georgia. King Von, Davon Bennett, Lil Durk's closest artist, his brother in every sense of the word except blood, was shot and killed outside a hookah lounge following a confrontation that allegedly spiraled out of control within minutes. He was 26 years old. Lil Durk was reportedly inconsolable. Sources close to the OTF camp have consistently described that night as the moment that changed Durk fundamentally. The moment he allegedly became a different person, a harder person, a person who allegedly stopped trusting the world the way he once did. And in the middle of all of that grief, there was Kayla B., King Von's sister. A young woman who had just lost her brother in the most violent, most public, most traumatic way imaginable. A young woman who was now carrying the weight of Von's legacy on her shoulders, while the whole internet watched and commented and speculated and monetized her family's pain. Sources allegedly close to the Bennett family described the period following Von's death as one of the darkest stretches any of them had ever experienced. And Kayla B., according to people who know her personally, handled it with a strength that allegedly surprised even the people closest to her. Now here is where it gets interesting. In the years following Von's death, Kayla B. became increasingly vocal. She started speaking publicly about Von's legacy, about the streets, about the people she felt had wronged her brother. And at some point along the way, she allegedly started forming her own opinions about who the real enemies were and who the real friends were. And reportedly, those opinions did not always align perfectly with what Lil Durk and OTF wanted her to believe. Sources allegedly familiar with internal conversations within Von's family circle claim that Kayla B. had, over time, developed a complicated relationship with the OTF narrative. On one hand, Von was Durk's protege, his brother, his artist, his most loyal soldier. On the other hand, allegedly, there were whispers within certain circles that questioned whether Von had been properly protected, properly looked after, properly guided by the people around him. These are allegedly sensitive conversations that have never fully surfaced publicly. But according to insiders, they have been happening quietly for years. And this is the part that nobody is talking about. While all of this was unfolding behind the scenes, NBA YoungBoy was going through his own transformation. After 3 years of house arrest, after a federal gun case that had him locked down in Utah, after everything, YoungBoy came out in 2025 a different version of himself. Freer, louder, unbothered in a way that allegedly made certain people very uncomfortable. His Massa tour, 27 cities, reportedly grossing over $70 million, was the kind of comeback that silenced every person who had written him off. And allegedly, it also opened doors that had previously been closed. Stay right here because it gets worse. When YoungBoy's Chicago show at the United Center was canceled in September 2025, officially due to, quote, safety concerns, Kayla B. went on camera and said, quote, F***CK that concert. Publicly, loudly, in a way that seemed to make it very clear where she stood. And the internet ran with it. Clips went viral. Blogs picked it up. Fans on both sides used it as ammunition. On the surface, it looked like Kayla B was firmly in the anti-YoungBoy camp, a soldier for Von's legacy, dismissing YoungBoy the same way Von allegedly would have. But according to sources allegedly close to people in both YoungBoy and Kayla B's circles, what was happening publicly and what was allegedly happening privately were two very different things. Word on the street, and this is where this story takes the turn that allegedly has Lil Durk losing sleep, is that sometime after that canceled Chicago show, after all the public back and forth, after Kayla B's viral reaction, there were allegedly private communications that began between YoungBoy's camp and Kayla B. Not public. Not on social media. Not in interviews. Private. Reportedly through intermediaries at first, mutual connections who allegedly floated the idea of a conversation, and then, according to insiders allegedly familiar with the situation directly. Now here is the twist. Allegedly, the initial conversation was not romantic. It was not about some relationship or some link-up in the way the blogs immediately tried to frame it. According to sources close to the situation, what allegedly started these conversations was something far more complicated and far more significant. It was reportedly about Von's legacy itself. Specifically, according to insiders, about the way Von's story is being told, monetized, and controlled. And allegedly, Kayla B had some very specific feelings about that. Feelings that reportedly, YoungBoy's people suggested he actually shared. Think about what that means for a second. Because this is the part that allegedly has certain people in Chicago absolutely spiraling. If Kayla B, King Von's own blood, allegedly started having conversations with NBA YoungBoy about how Von's legacy is being handled, that is not just gossip. That is allegedly a fracture in the very foundation of what OTF and Lil Durk have built around Von's memory. Von's name, Von's catalog, Von's image. These are not just emotional assets. They are financial assets. They are brand assets. And if the person closest to Von by blood is allegedly questioning who controls those assets and how they are being used, that conversation allegedly becomes worth a lot more than just drama. Sources allegedly close to Durk's inner circle claim that when word of these alleged communications first reached Durk, his reaction was, and we are quoting an insider here, quote, "not calm." Reportedly, Durk allegedly felt this was the ultimate form of disrespect, not just from YoungBoy, who he already had beef with, but from within the circle he considered sacred. Von's family. The people he had allegedly pledged to protect and provide for after Von's death. And now allegedly, one of those people was reportedly talking to his biggest enemy. But here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. According to sources close to the situation, Kayla B's alleged communications with YoungBoy were not a secret to everyone in Von's family. Reportedly, certain members of the Bennett family were allegedly aware and allegedly did not oppose it the way Durk's camp expected them to. The reasoning, according to insiders, was reportedly rooted in something deeply personal. Allegedly, some people within Von's family felt that their grief had been used, their name had been leveraged, and their brother's legacy had been steered in directions that served other people's interests more than it served Von's actual memory. Whether that is fair or unfair to Durk, and there are allegedly people on both sides of that argument, the mere fact that this conversation was reportedly happening is, according to sources close to Chicago's rap community, the kind of thing that could reshape alliances in ways that nobody has fully processed yet. And Lil Durk, allegedly, is processing it in real time. In the worst possible way. When the rumors first started leaking onto social media, vague at first, just whispers in comment sections and cryptic posts from accounts allegedly close to both camps, the reaction was immediate and it was electric. Fans who had been following the YoungBoy Durk beef for years suddenly had a completely new dimension to process. This was no longer just two rappers trading disses on tracks and performing digs at each other on tour. This was allegedly personal in a way that cut straight to the bone of everything that had defined Chicago drill's most painful chapter. The comment sections, reportedly, went absolutely nuclear. On YoungBoy's side, fans were allegedly celebrating, not necessarily because of the romantic angle that blogs were pushing, but because of what this allegedly represented symbolically. If Von's own sister was allegedly communicating with YoungBoy, that was, in their view, reportedly the ultimate validation that YoungBoy had been right all along about certain things he had allegedly been saying about OTF and Durk for years. Fans allegedly flooded social media with posts saying things like, quote, "Even Von's fam knows the truth," and quote, Kayla B is the realest one in that whole situation. On Durk's side, the reaction was allegedly the opposite, and reportedly far more intense. Sources allegedly close to OTF's inner circle claim that the mood within the camp shifted dramatically the moment this story started gaining traction. Reportedly, there were allegedly conversations happening at levels above the street. Management conversations, label conversations, conversations about narrative control and damage limitation. Because allegedly, the last thing Durk's team needed right now, with his own legal situation ongoing, with the FBG Duck civil lawsuit naming him specifically, with his public profile already under significant pressure, was a story circulating that Vaughn's own family was allegedly pulling away from his orbit and toward his biggest rivals. Now here is where it gets interesting in ways that go way beyond just the rap beef. According to insiders allegedly familiar with Kayla B's state of mind during this period, she was reportedly not oblivious to the firestorm her alleged communications were causing. Reportedly, she had allegedly anticipated some level of backlash, but according to sources close to her, she was allegedly surprised by the intensity and allegedly surprised by who specifically was the most vocal in trying to shut the story down. Word on the street is that certain people allegedly connected to Durk's circle were reportedly reaching out to blogs, to social media accounts, to anyone with a platform, allegedly trying to either kill the story entirely or reframe it in ways that made Kayla B look like she had been manipulated or deceived. And this is allegedly the part that made Kayla B, according to sources close to her, go from allegedly curious about YoungBoy's camp to allegedly genuinely angry at Durk's. Stay right here because it gets worse. Reportedly, according to insiders allegedly close to the situation, someone in Durk's orbit allegedly made direct contact with Kayla B, not to have a conversation, not to understand her perspective, but reportedly to deliver what sources describe as an ultimatum. The alleged message, according to people close to Kayla B who were reportedly told about this exchange, was essentially that she needed to publicly distance herself from any connection to YoungBoy immediately, or allegedly face consequences that were described as, quote, not good for her. Now allegedly, Kayla B's response to that ultimatum, according to sources close to her inner circle, was reportedly not what Durk's camp expected. Allegedly, she did not comply. Reportedly, she did not post anything, did not make any public statement distancing herself from YoungBoy, did not give Durk's camp the narrative reset they were allegedly seeking. And according to sources close to the situation, her silence on the matter was allegedly interpreted by both sides as a statement in itself, louder reportedly, than anything she could have said out loud. This is the part that nobody is talking about. Because here is what allegedly happened next. According to insiders reportedly familiar with YoungBoy's camp, when word reached YoungBoy about the alleged ultimatum that had been delivered to Kayla B, his reaction was reportedly immediate and reportedly very YoungBoy. Sources allegedly close to his team claim that he allegedly made it known, not publicly, not on X, not in a song, but through channels that allegedly reached the right people, that any attempt to pressure or intimidate Kayla B would not go unaddressed. Reportedly, the message that allegedly came back from YoungBoy's side was simple and direct, allegedly something along the lines of, quote, she grown, she can talk to whoever she wants, and if somebody got a problem with that they can bring that problem to me. While all of this was allegedly happening behind the scenes, the alleged communications, the alleged ultimatum, the alleged responses, something else was reportedly unfolding publicly that, in retrospect, allegedly starts to look like a lot more than coincidence. YoungBoy's baby mama drama with Arcola had just exploded in early March 2026. The public fight, the allegations of him being a deadbeat father, the viral backlash, his decision to wipe his entire social media presence. On the surface, it looked like YoungBoy was going through a personal crisis, isolated, offline, under attack from multiple directions simultaneously. But according to sources allegedly close to his inner circle, what was actually happening during that period of social media silence was reportedly the opposite of isolation. Allegedly, that period of going dark publicly coincided with a period of allegedly intense private activity, conversations, planning, and reportedly continued communication with people including, allegedly, Kayla B, who according to insiders reportedly reached out during that period specifically because, allegedly, she had watched how the internet treated YoungBoy during the Arcola situation and reportedly felt, quote, a kind of recognition in watching someone she had heard described as an enemy get publicly torn apart in ways she allegedly understood personally. And here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. According to sources allegedly close to both camps, the Arcola situation and the Kayla B situation are allegedly more connected than anyone has reported. Allegedly, certain people in Durk's orbit were reportedly aware of the Arcola drama before it went fully public and allegedly, according to insiders, did nothing to discourage it from escalating. Reportedly, the suggestion being floated in certain circles is that the timing of the Arcola story blowing up publicly, right as rumors of YoungBoy and Kayla B's alleged communications were starting to surface, was allegedly not entirely organic. Now we are not saying Durk orchestrated anything. We are not saying that. But allegedly, according to sources close to people who were allegedly in rooms where certain conversations happened, the timing of certain things becoming public and certain things being amplified was reportedly noticed by YoungBoy's team, and allegedly, it made an already tense situation allegedly significantly more combustible. Lil Durk, according to sources allegedly close to his camp, is reportedly furious in a way that goes beyond rap beef territory. Reportedly, this allegedly feels to him like a personal violation, like the sanctity of Von's memory is allegedly being used as a weapon against him by the one person he has consistently positioned as his greatest rival. And allegedly, according to insiders close to OTF, Durk has reportedly made it known internally that this situation requires a response. Not a diss track, not a social media post, but allegedly something more definitive. What that allegedly means exactly, and whether it stays in the realm of music and public statements or allegedly escalates into something more significant, is reportedly the question that allegedly has people in Chicago genuinely concerned right now. There is a moment in every story like this where the drama stops being just entertainment and starts allegedly being something heavier. Something that allegedly carries real weight for real people in real circumstances. And allegedly, this story reached that moment a long time ago. It is just taking the rest of the internet a little while to catch up to what people allegedly close to this situation have reportedly already understood for months. King Von is not here to speak for himself. That is the fact that sits underneath all of this. Underneath every rumor, every alleged communication, every alleged ultimatum, every allegedly calculated move by every camp involved. Von cannot weigh in. He cannot tell us what he would want for his sister. He cannot tell us what he would think about YoungBoy being in contact with Kayla B. He cannot tell us whether he would see it as betrayal or whether allegedly, in some version of events that none of us have full visibility into, he might have seen it differently than the blogs and the comment sections are seeing it. And that silence, Von's permanent, irreversible silence, is allegedly what every single person in this story is trying to fill with their own narrative. Durk is allegedly filling it with loyalty and brotherhood and the idea that Von's memory belongs to OTF. Kayla B is allegedly filling it with something more personal, more complicated, more rooted in blood than in business. And YoungBoy, allegedly, according to sources close to his camp, is reportedly filling it with something that his team describes as simply this: the truth. Now here is where it gets interesting in a way that allegedly nobody saw coming. According to insiders reportedly close to YoungBoy's team, there has allegedly been internal discussion about YoungBoy doing something publicly. Not a diss track, not a clapback, not another social media moment, but allegedly something more deliberate. Something that allegedly acknowledges the Von situation directly, that allegedly speaks to the complexity of what is reportedly happening between him and Kayla B, and that allegedly puts on the record his version of events in a way that the blogs cannot easily distort or reframe. Sources close to his camp reportedly describe this alleged project as, quote, something that will make people stop and actually listen. Whether that is a song, an interview, a documentary, or something else entirely, allegedly, YoungBoy's team is reportedly adamant that when he addresses this, he does it in his own way, on his own timeline, with full control over the narrative. And allegedly, Kayla B is reportedly aware of this and reportedly supportive of it. Stay right here because it gets worse. Because while YoungBoy's camp is allegedly planning and Durk's camp is allegedly seething, there is a third party in this situation that most people have completely overlooked, and that is Von's fanbase. The millions of people around the world who loved King Von, who stream his music daily, who keep his name alive on social media, who have made him arguably more culturally present in death than many living artists are in life. And reportedly, those fans are not a monolith on this situation. According to social media analytics allegedly tracked by entertainment industry observers, the conversation around YoungBoy and Kayla B has allegedly split Von's fanbase in ways that are reportedly uncomfortable for everyone. A significant portion of Von fans are reportedly taking the position that Kayla B, as Von's blood, has the right to communicate with and connect with whoever she chooses, and that anyone attempting to dictate who she can or cannot have in her life is allegedly disrespecting Vaughn's legacy far more than YoungBoy could ever do by simply talking to her. Another portion, reportedly louder online but allegedly smaller in actual numbers, is taking Durk's alleged position that any connection between Kayla B and YoungBoy is a betrayal of everything Vaughn stood for and everything he allegedly died protecting. This is the part that nobody is talking about. The fracture within Vaughn's own fanbase is allegedly the most significant long-term consequence of this entire situation. Because Vaughn's legacy, his music, his story, his memory, is allegedly held together partly by the community of people who love him. And if that community allegedly fractures along the lines of this beef, the damage to how Vaughn is remembered and celebrated could allegedly be irreversible in ways that go far beyond one news cycle or one blog post or one canceled tour stop. And here is what they allegedly did not want you to find out. According to sources reportedly familiar with conversations happening within the music industry around Vaughn's catalog and estate, there are allegedly ongoing discussions about how Vaughn's music is licensed, how his likeness is used, and how his story is told. Discussions that reportedly involve multiple parties with allegedly competing interests. And allegedly, Kayla B's reported proximity to YoungBoy has, according to insiders, introduced a new variable into those discussions that certain people allegedly were not expecting and allegedly are not happy about. Because YoungBoy is not just a rival rapper. He is allegedly, according to his team, an artist who has repeatedly expressed interest in telling stories that the mainstream industry allegedly does not want told. And if YoungBoy allegedly has a relationship with someone as close to Vaughn's story as Kayla B, the implications for how Vaughn's legacy might be represented going forward, in music, in film, in documentary form, are allegedly significant enough that allegedly certain industry conversations have reportedly already shifted as a result. Now here is the twist that allegedly changes everything. According to sources reportedly close to both Kayla B and YoungBoy's situation, the alleged communications between them have reportedly reached a point where people close to both of them are allegedly describing it not just as a connection, but as allegedly something that both of them have reportedly found genuinely meaningful. Allegedly, YoungBoy, who is by all accounts a complicated person with a complicated history and a documented pattern of doing things his own way regardless of consequences, has allegedly expressed, according to sources close to him, a level of respect for Kayla B that reportedly goes beyond strategy or calculation. And allegedly, Kayla B has reportedly found in YoungBoy something she allegedly did not expect to find. Reportedly, according to insiders close to her, a person who allegedly talks about Vaughn not as a brand asset but as a real person, a real artist, a real human being who lived a real and complicated life. Whether that alleged connection stays exactly what it reportedly is right now, or whether it allegedly grows into something more, or whether external pressure from Durk's camp and the internet and Chicago itself allegedly forces it underground again, nobody reportedly knows. Not even, allegedly, the people closest to it. What allegedly is known, according to every source reportedly close to this situation, is this: Lil Durk is reportedly not handling it well. The man who allegedly built his entire post-Vaughn identity around loyalty and brotherhood and protecting the people Vaughn left behind is now allegedly watching the most visible member of Vaughn's family reportedly move toward the one person Durk has positioned as his sworn enemy. And reportedly, no amount of alleged behind-the-scenes pressure, alleged ultimatums, or alleged narrative management has allegedly changed the trajectory of that situation so far. Allegedly, according to sources close to OTF, Durk has reportedly told people in his inner circle that this allegedly feels like losing Vaughn all over again. But this time, reportedly, in a way he allegedly did not see coming and allegedly does not know how to fight. And that, allegedly, is the most human and the most heartbreaking detail in this entire story. Because underneath all of the beef and the blogs and the cancelled shows and the diss tracks and the alleged ultimatums and the alleged industry maneuvering, there are reportedly real people dealing with real grief in real ways that the internet will never fully see or fully understand. Vaughn is gone. Durk is allegedly still processing that in ways that reportedly come out sideways. Kayla B is allegedly trying to live her life and honor her brother on her own terms. And YoungBoy, who has allegedly been through more in 26 years than most people experience in a lifetime, is reportedly just doing what YoungBoy allegedly always does. Moving forward. On his own terms. Allegedly not asking anyone for permission. And the question that allegedly nobody has the answer to yet, the question that is reportedly going to define how this entire story ultimately lands, is simply this: When all of the noise dies down and all of the alleged maneuvering stops and all of the blogs move on to the next story, what does Kayla B actually want? Not what Durk allegedly wants her to want. Not what YoungBoy's camp allegedly wants her to want. Not what Vaughn's fans want her to want. What does she want? Because allegedly, according to sources close to her, she is reportedly the one person in this entire situation who has not yet fully said. And that right there is where this story sits right now. Not resolved. Not finished. Not even close to its final chapter. Because allegedly, every single player in this situation is reportedly still moving, still making decisions, still sending messages through channels the blogs cannot see, still allegedly positioning for whatever comes next in a story that has already rewritten the rules of what a rap beef can look like and what it can allegedly cost. Lil Durk is reportedly watching. YoungBoy is reportedly not stopping. Kayla B is reportedly making her own choices regardless of who allegedly approves. And Vaughn's legacy, the music, the memory, the meaning, is allegedly sitting in the middle of all of it, waiting to see which direction the people who love him most decide to take it. We are going to be watching this situation very closely. Because allegedly, according to sources close to multiple camps involved, there are developments reportedly coming in the next few weeks that could allegedly change the entire framing of everything you just heard. And when that happens, you are only going to hear about it here first if you are subscribed and that notification bell is on right now. Here is why your like on this video matters beyond just the numbers. This story is about real people, real grief, real legacy, and allegedly real consequences that go far beyond rap beef. Every like tells the algorithm that this story deserves to reach more people. Every share puts this conversation in front of someone who needs to hear it. Now drop your answer in the comments right now because this is the question that has no easy answer, and that is exactly why we are asking it. If King Von was alive, would he be okay with what is allegedly happening between YoungBoy and Kayla B? Or would this allegedly be the one thing that changed everything? We will see you in the comments. Because allegedly, we know what is coming next.